Well, good afternoon everybody. My name is Matthijs van der Veen. Ik kom uit Nederland en ik ben in Canada sinds 2018. Or as we say in English, I'm here since 2018. I'm together today with...
My name is Richard. Ik kom uit omgeving Eindhoven, Beek en Donk. I've been in Canada since 2003.
Yeah, so today Richard and we are here asked to share something about the Dutch culture. Well, there's many things that we can look at from food and other activities, but we spoke about it and we said, cycling is really a part of the Dutch culture. It's so incorporated in society that it's something, very special. You won't see that anywhere else in the world, and that's why I wanted to share something about that today.
So cycling, we start at a very young age. Nowadays we have electronic bikes that where we drive the kids and we put them all in. I forgot the term.
Like
Boedelbak?
Oh, the Boedelbak, yes.
So there's one person biking with it tends to be like a strong plastic or wood, and there's a bunch of kids in front and they just pedal them around to schools or to kinderdagblijf.
Childcare. Daycare.
And we normally, when the kids are young, we bring them to classes where they can learn how to bike, and the law for bikers is the same as for cars pretty much. Matthijs himself actually taught some classes here in Canada.
Oh yes, yeah, that's true. I organized in my previous job for the Township of Augusta, I organized a safe cycling event. Bike rodeo is what they sometimes call it here as well. So at the time last year we teamed up with OPP, also the fire department to facilitate a place where we could safely do that. 2 cycle repairmen from the township who came there to do some safety checks and small repairs on the bikes. And also there was information made available by the health unit, information on safety equipment and regulation to drive. So that was a great day, a lot of turnout, and well received in the community. Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
So that's the start then of like when we're 8, 9. You see kids bike to school themselves at that age, and that goes up to in the 80s, 90s. At that point, we have electronic bikes that help people get to longer stretches, or there is hills in the Netherlands, believe it or not. That also attributes to making biking very popular. It's flat, it's not very heavy.
No, yeah, that's true. Like the country being flat makes it easy to transport yourself. And if you look at the culture, it's part of the culture because it's easy to transport yourself. It's like a cheap way of transportation. Well, nowadays also the green part, of course. There's no pollution when you drive your bike, but that's never been a thing in the past, of course, because then it was just like, hey, how can we go from A to B in a cheap way and in a fast way? And people were not driving cars before the 50s, 60s, most of them. So yeah, cycling was the only way of transportation that was affordable for everybody and to get in a relatively fast manner into another location. So that's definitely how that all started. But already before the Second World War, most people, they were just pedaling around and going everywhere with their bikes. Yeah.
If a Dutch person says we used to bike to school back and forth, uphill both ways. The uphill both ways is a lie, but the rest is true. To like high school, later on some to college, but it depends on the distance where it's feasible. Even to rain, we get raincoats on to keep biking. But there's provisions for biking, right? Like even to the idea of having trees next to the road, where the trees are actually sort of keeping a separation between the cars and the bike paths. But the trees also provide canopy to keep you out of the rain when it rains. So at the same time, it's well thought through over 40, 50 years of bike infrastructure leading into that.
And if you talk about infrastructure, it's also that because of the fact that people were cycling before cars and everything came around, was introduced to society, the whole infrastructure was there. And every time when they need to upgrade infrastructure because of the fact that there were more cars present in the traffic environment, it always was developed in such a way that there was a safe way, but also a separate way of transportation next to each other. Other than when you look, for instance, in Canada, everything is oriented on driving a car. So if at once you comes to mind, you say, oh yeah, let's go and cycle to work today, you're always sharing the road instead of having a separated bike lane.
Yeah, and it makes, I think that's a separate section almost to talk about that, because it's, you'll see, you bike there, people don't wear helmets. It's not an issue, and the drivers are very conscientious. They know there's people on the road, they check for that. There's separate bike lights in traffic. You might see them in Ottawa popping up now in Toronto, but it's part of it. It's normal to us. Yeah, we cycle year round because rain or snow, we still have to get to our destinations. So that actually sort of leads to the mode of transportation for bikes. Yes, since we use it year round, there's a lot of avenues made out for bicycles. So you go to school, there's a giant area where you can park your bikes. Actually, anywhere you go to a train station,
shopping malls, everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. So what you try to say is like that the infrastructure is developed in such a way, designed in such a way that you share the road. No, the infrastructure is designed in such a way that you don't share the road. The cycling lanes and other forms of transportation are separated. Like when I was working in the city of The Hague, from where I was living, I was commuting 11 kilometers from where I was living to my job in The Hague, and I didn't share the road a single time. Of course, I was crossing some roads, but then they give you advantage over motorized vehicles, so they have to stop and let you go first, or your cycling path goes like in a tunnel or a bridge over or under the road, so you're never in contact with them. So that whole commute, what took about 35-40 minutes, I was never sharing the road, but always being separated from other traffic. So that creates a very safe way of traveling, because you're only like sharing the road with cyclists.
Yeah.
And we do that year round. You see that there's there are whole like clothing lines like for cyclists, like raincoats with reflective things on the arms and everything, just to be sure that you are seen while participating in traffic and staying dry, of course.
That leads well into the bike design is different too. Where you are used to, say, city bikes or mountain bikes here, we have bikes where you sit up straight, your back is straight, and it's maybe not as comfortable as you might see, but you are looking over cars, and you have front splash protection and back splash protection. Then you have on the back you have I can't think of the name.
Yeah, they're like the luggage rack.
Luggage rack. yeah, sort of like that. Sometimes you have a front luggage rack, and people use the back one to sometimes sit on as well for the two people like.
Yeah, or put a school bag or put extra bags to transport stuff. Like if you go for groceries, or I don't know, if you go to the library, you get a couple of books, put them in your basket or in your bag or whatever. And, you can make it all work.
A lot of people use the bikes too for work purposes. May it be that they have bags on the side next to the wheel where they deliver newspaper, or they have like a big cart in front of it to do deliveries.
Mm-hmm. But also like food service from pizzeria or other type of restaurants. In the past they did it with little scooters, but like what do you call them, like little motorbikes, but
Mopeds.
Yeah, mopeds like driving 40 kilometers an hour. Nowadays, they choose to use electric bikes because then kids 16 years old can deliver pizzas as well. So
Yeah, electric bikes are very nice.
well, yeah. If you go back to like how cycling is incorporated in the culture of the Dutch, then you only have to look up the number of bikes that are available in the Netherlands. I mean, there's more bikes than that there are people. There's 23 million bike versus 17,000 people living there, and not everybody has a bike. So just imagine how many bikes people have who do own bikes, right? And like nowadays with the electrical bike that is introduced, more and more people start to have one, and there is now approximately 2.5 million electrical bikes already in the Netherlands. So that is just like showing how popular this type of new bike is, and also how it's used as a form of transportation to get somewhere relatively quick without getting really tired. So yeah, that's a thing. And another part is like, for instance, people they use it as part of their commute, right? So they use it to get from their home to like a bus station, train station, and then they park their bike there, jump on the train, and then where they jump from the train, sometimes they even have a second bike parked there in a bike garage, bike parking, and they use that second one to get to their job on the other end of the train.
Or
So
foldable bikes.
foldable bikes, yeah, people bring their foldable bikes on the train if they don't want to store their bike, and yeah, so there's all ways of how Dutch people adjust their transportation needs and include biking with that. And if you just look at one of the biggest bike parkings in the Netherlands, actually they call it more like a biking flat, like a block of apartments, like because there's different layers of parking levels for bikes, and that one is situated in the town of Utrecht, and that's close next to the train station there, and there is a capacity of 12,500 bikes there. So that you just imagine that's a huge amount of bikes.